You may think cooking oil is just a detail in your kitchen, something small that does not matter as much as the food you put on your plate. But as a doctor who has treated countless stroke patients, I must warn you that the oils you use every day could be silently pushing you closer to a stroke without you ever realizing it. Many seniors believe that if they avoid fast food or sugary desserts, they are safe. The truth is, danger often hides in the very oils you fry, saute, or drizzle onto your meals. They may look harmless. They may even be advertised as healthy. But inside your body, they are fueling high blood pressure, clogging arteries, and damaging the blood vessels in your brain. Stroke does not arrive out of nowhere. It builds slowly. Meal after meal, choice after choice, until one day the brain is starved of oxygen and everything changes in a matter of minutes. I have seen patients who lived carefully, exercised, and never smoked. Yet they were suddenly struck down because they trusted the wrong oils in their kitchen. These oils raised their LDL cholesterol, created dangerous inflammation in their arteries, and left them vulnerable to both ischemic strokes caused by clots and hemorrhagic strokes caused by ruptured vessels. What makes this even more alarming is that the damage is silent. You do not feel it happening. You may feel fine today, but inside, your vessels could already be stiffening and narrowing. That is why it is crucial to know the truth now before it is too late. In this video, I will reveal 5 cooking oils that quietly increase stroke risk, explain why they are dangerous, and share safer alternatives that can protect your brain, your heart, and your independence. Before we dive in, if you have not subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. Part 1. Palm oil, the silent artery clogger. Palm oil is one of the most widely used oils in the world, appearing in packaged snacks, baked goods, instant noodles, and even in the meals many seniors cook at home. At first glance, it seems harmless. It has a neutral taste, a long shelf life, and it is cheap, which is why food companies use it so heavily. But as a brain doctor, I must tell you that palm oil is a silent artery clogger, especially dangerous for older adults who are already at risk of stroke. The problem with palm oil lies in its composition. Palm oil is extremely high in saturated fat. Saturated fats raise levels of LDL cholesterol, the so-called bad cholesterol that forms sticky plaques inside your arteries. When these plaques build up, they narrow the space where blood can flow. Over time, the arteries leading to the brain become stiffer, less flexible, and more likely to block completely. When the brain loses its blood supply for even a few minutes, cells begin to die, and a stroke occurs. I have seen this progression countless times in my patients. At first, it does not feel like anything. You eat fried food, cookies, or margarine made with palm oil, and you feel fine. But inside, the damage is accumulating silently. The walls of your arteries are being coated with layers of fat and cholesterol. Blood pressure slowly rises as your heart struggles to push blood through narrowed vessels. Then one day, often without warning, a clot forms, blood flow stops, and a stroke strikes. Some of my elderly patients have told me, "Doctor, I never ate junk food. I just used palm oil to fry my vegetables because I thought it was better than lard." But unfortunately, that very habit was enough to raise their risk significantly. Studies confirm this danger. Research published in journals of cardiovascular health has shown that diets high in palm oil increase LDL cholesterol and raise the risk of heart disease and stroke. In fact, populations that rely heavily on palm oil in cooking show much higher rates of stroke compared to those who use oils rich in unsaturated fats like olive oil. The risk is even higher for seniors because aging arteries are already less elastic. Adding a heavy load of saturated fat accelerates the damage. The danger is not only in what you cook at home. Palm oil hides in processed foods, often labeled as vegetable oil or palm kernel oil. That innocent-looking biscuit, that crunchy snack, that ready-made frozen meal, all of them may be delivering palm oil straight into your bloodstream. The good news is that you do not need to live in fear. You can make a simple, powerful change by swapping palm oil for healthier options. Olive oil, avocado oil, or even canola oil provide unsaturated fats that protect your arteries instead of destroying them. They lower LDL cholesterol, reduce inflammation, and support healthy blood flow to the brain. Each time you choose a better oil, you are giving your body the chance to heal and rebuild. If you think palm oil is bad, wait until you hear about hydrogenated vegetable oils, which contain the most dangerous fat of all trans fats. These oils take the damage to an even deeper level, attacking not just your arteries, but the very lining of your blood vessels. That is what we will uncover next. Part 2. Hydrogenated vegetable oils, the trans fat trap. If palm oil quietly clogs your arteries over time, hydrogenated vegetable oils are far more insidious because they introduce something even deadlier, trans fats. These are not just ordinary fats. They are artificial fats created when liquid vegetable oils are chemically altered to stay solid at room temperature. The food industry embraced them decades ago because they made cookies crunchier, pastries flakier, and fried foods last longer on the shelf. But what seems like a miracle for manufacturers is a nightmare for the human body, especially for seniors vulnerable to stroke. Trans fats are so damaging because they simultaneously raise LDL, the bad cholesterol that forms artery-clogging plaques, and lower HDL, the good cholesterol that normally sweeps those plaques away. This double assault accelerates atherosclerosis, the narrowing and hardening of the arteries that directly leads to stroke. For elderly adults whose blood vessels are already weakened by age, the effect is magnified. The lining of the arteries becomes inflamed. Blood flow becomes turbulent, and clots form more easily. I have had patients who swore they avoided fast food, but when I asked them about their snacks, they admitted to eating margarine on toast every morning or using shortening in their baking. These hydrogenated oils were quietly poisoning them with trans fats, setting the stage for disaster. Science has left no doubt. A landmark study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that even a small daily intake of trans fats increases the risk of cardiovascular disease by up to 25%. Another study linked trans fat consumption directly to higher rates of ischemic stroke, particularly in older women. What makes it worse is how hidden these oils can be. On food labels, they may appear as partially hydrogenated oil or simply vegetable shortening. Many fried foods, packaged crackers, microwave popcorns, and even coffee creamers still contain them. Seniors often think they are enjoying something light and harmless, but each bite is feeding the flames of inflammation in their arteries. The physical signs often do not appear until it is too late. By the time dizziness, slurred speech, or sudden weakness occurs, the damage has been building for years. But there is hope. The first step is awareness. Once you learn to recognize and avoid hydrogenated oils, you strip away one of the strongest hidden drivers of stroke. Replace them with oils rich in unsaturated fats, olive oil, avocado oil, or even small amounts of flaxseed oil can nourish the brain instead of attacking it. Cooking at home with fresh, healthy oils is one of the simplest yet most powerful choices you can make. Your arteries will thank you with better blood flow, lower inflammation, and less risk of stroke. If trans fats shocked you, the next oil may surprise you even more. Many people consider it natural and even trendy. It is sold as a superfood in glossy jars and praised for everything from weight loss to skin health. But when consumed in excess, coconut oil can quietly sabotage your blood vessels and raise your stroke risk in ways most seniors never expect. Part 3. Coconut oil in excess. Not as healthy as you think. Coconut oil has exploded in popularity in recent years. Walk into any supermarket or health food store, and you will see shelves lined with glossy jars, each promising natural health benefits. Advertisements praise it as a superfood that boosts energy, supports weight loss, improves skin, and even strengthens the immune system. Many seniors have embraced coconut oil as a healthier alternative to butter or margarine, but as a brain doctor, I must warn you that coconut oil is not the miracle food it is marketed to be. In fact, when consumed in excess, it can quietly increase your risk of stroke. The hidden danger lies in its fat profile. Over 80% of coconut oil is made up of saturated fat, a far higher percentage than butter, beef fat, or even palm oil. Saturated fats are known to raise LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol that contributes to plaque buildup in the arteries. For younger people with strong, flexible vessels, the body might tolerate small amounts, but in seniors, where blood vessels are already stiffened and narrowed by age, the extra load of saturated fat accelerates the process of atherosclerosis. I have seen older patients proudly tell me they replaced butter with coconut oil because they read it was better for the heart. Yet their cholesterol numbers rose sharply. Their blood pressure climbed. And within a few years, they were sitting in my office after suffering a stroke. One 69-year-old woman shared that she started her mornings with coffee blended with coconut oil, convinced it would sharpen her mind. What it actually did was silently raise her LDL cholesterol to dangerous levels, eventually leading to a transient ischemic attack. She was lucky it was only a warning stroke. But many others are not so fortunate. Scientific research supports this caution. A review in the journal Circulation concluded that coconut oil raises LDL cholesterol just like other saturated fats. While it may increase HDL cholesterol slightly, the rise in harmful LDL is far greater, leaving overall cardiovascular risk elevated. For seniors with pre-existing high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease, this risk can quickly translate into a life-threatening stroke. Another overlooked problem is that coconut oil is calorie-dense. Just 1 tablespoon contains over 100 calories. Seniors often struggle with maintaining a healthy weight due to slower metabolism. Adding large amounts of coconut oil to daily meals can lead to weight gain, further increasing the risk of stroke through obesity, diabetes, and hypertension. Now, does this mean coconut oil must be completely banned? Not necessarily. Small amounts used occasionally in cooking are unlikely to cause harm. The problem is when it becomes a daily staple or when seniors consume it in the belief that more is better. Moderation is key. And safer oils like olive or avocado oil should remain the foundation of a senior's diet. Coconut oil in excess is like a wolf in sheep's clothing. It looks natural. It feels wholesome. But inside the body, It fuels the very processes that rob the brain of blood and oxygen. If you thought coconut oil was a tricky risk, wait until we uncover the truth about reused cooking oil. This is not about what type of oil you buy. It is about what happens when you use it again and again, turning it into a toxic brew that directly assaults your brain and blood vessels. Part 4. Reused cooking oil, toxic compounds building up. For many seniors, reusing cooking oil feels like a practical and harmless habit. After all, oil is expensive, and it seems wasteful to throw it away after frying only once. I have often heard my patients say, "Doctor, I always strain the oil and save it for the next meal." My parents did the same, and they lived long. But as a brain specialist, I can tell you, this is one of the most dangerous habits for your arteries and your brain. Reused oil is not the same as fresh oil. Each time you heat oil to high temperatures, especially for deep frying, chemical changes occur. The oil begins to break down, producing toxic compounds such as aldehydes, free radicals, and trans fats. When the same oil is used again and again, these harmful substances multiply, turning the oil into a toxic brew. Every time you consume food cooked in this reused oil, you are feeding your body invisible poisons that damage your blood vessels and accelerate the process that leads to stroke. The impact on your health is severe. Free radicals from reheated oil cause oxidative stress, which directly injures the lining of your arteries. This makes it easier for cholesterol and fat to stick, creating plaques that narrow blood flow to the brain. Toxic aldehydes circulating in the blood have been linked to high blood pressure, impaired circulation, and even changes in brain cells that contribute to dementia. For seniors whose detox systems are already slower, these toxins accumulate even faster. I recall one elderly man, age 72, who came to me after suffering repeated dizzy spells and eventually a minor stroke. He was not overweight, did not drink alcohol, and had never smoked. The hidden culprit was discovered in his kitchen. His family had been reusing the same oil for frying meat and fish several times a week. Lab tests later showed dangerously high levels of lipid peroxidation in his blood, a marker of oxidative stress from toxic oils. Research confirms what I have seen in practice. A study in the journal Food and Chemical Toxicology showed that repeatedly heated oil significantly increases the risk of atherosclerosis and stroke due to the buildup of toxic compounds. Another clinical study linked consumption of reheated oils to higher rates of hypertension and vascular inflammation in elderly populations. The tragic part is that this danger often hides in plain sight. Many seniors enjoy fried snacks bought from street vendors or restaurants, where oils are reused repeatedly to save money. Even if you avoid reusing oil at home, you may still be exposed if you eat fried foods outside regularly. The solution is clear. Never reuse cooking oil at home. If you fry, use fresh oil and discard it after one use. Even better, replace frying with healthier cooking methods like baking, grilling, or steaming. When you do use oil, choose one with a high smoke point, such as avocado or canola oil, to reduce toxic breakdown. Protecting your arteries means protecting your future. Your brain depends on clean, oxygen-rich blood. Do not let reused oil poison that lifeline. If you think reused oil is alarming, wait until you hear about the fifth oil on our list. This one is often promoted as healthy because it is light and plant-based, but hidden inside is an unhealthy balance of fats that silently inflames your blood vessels and increases your stroke risk. I am talking about corn oil. Part 5. Corn oil, the inflammation booster. Corn oil has long been marketed as a light, plant-based alternative to animal fats. Many seniors believe it is a safe choice because it comes from a vegetable source and is commonly labeled as heart-friendly. You may have even seen food packaging proudly proclaiming made with corn oil as if it were a badge of health. But as a brain doctor, I must warn you that corn oil is far from harmless. In fact, it can silently increase inflammation in your body, fuel arterial damage, and raise your risk of stroke over time. The reason lies in its fat composition. Corn oil is extremely high in omega-6 fatty acids, particularly linoleic acid. While omega-6 fats are not inherently bad, they must be balanced with omega-3 fats, which reduce inflammation and protect blood vessels. The ideal ratio is thought to be about 4 parts omega-6 to 1 part omega-3. Unfortunately, corn oil has a ratio closer to 20 to 1. For seniors who already have diets low in omega-3, this imbalance is disastrous. Too much omega-6 and too little omega-3 create a chronic inflammatory state in the body. Inflammation may sound vague, but inside your arteries it is deadly. It irritates the vessel lining, makes cholesterol more likely to stick, and accelerates plaque formation. Over time, this leads to narrowed arteries, unstable blood flow, and a much higher chance of clot formation. The result is an ischemic stroke, where a blocked artery starves part of the brain of oxygen. I remember one 70-year-old patient who believed she was making healthy choices by switching from butter to corn oil. She used it for everything from frying eggs to baking cakes. Within 2 years, her cholesterol had worsened, her blood pressure crept up, and she experienced a minor stroke. She was shocked because she thought she had done the right thing by avoiding animal fat. The truth was, her constant exposure to omega-6 fats in corn oil had quietly inflamed her arteries. Science strongly supports this. A large meta-analysis published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that diets overly rich in omega-6 fats without sufficient omega-3 significantly increase the risk of cardiovascular disease and stroke. Another study in Stroke Journal noted that women with the highest intake of omega-6 fatty acids had a greater incidence of ischemic stroke compared to those with more balanced fat intake. The problem is made worse by how corn oil is often used. It is commonly employed in frying, where heat further oxidizes the oil, creating free radicals that damage arteries even faster. Seniors who consume fried foods daily are often exposed to both the dangers of reused oil and the inflammation-boosting properties of corn oil at the same time. The solution is not to fear all oils but to choose wisely. Replace corn oil with oils rich in omega-3 or monounsaturated fats, extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or even small amounts of flaxseed oil. Provide healthier fat profiles that calm inflammation rather than fuel it. Your arteries will remain more flexible, your circulation steadier, and your risk of stroke lower. Now that we have uncovered 5 dangerous oils that can quietly sabotage your brain and blood vessels, the question remains, what should seniors do instead? What oils can you safely use to cook, dress your salads, or drizzle over your meals that will actually protect your heart and your brain rather than harm them? That is what we will uncover in the next part. Part 6. Safer alternatives. Oils that protect your brain and arteries. After learning about palm oil, soybean oil, coconut oil, reused oil, and corn oil, you may be wondering if any oil is truly safe to use. The good news is, yes. There are oils that not only avoid damage but actually protect your arteries, reduce inflammation, and lower your risk of stroke. The secret is to choose oils that are rich in monounsaturated fats, balanced in omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, and stable enough to resist turning toxic when heated. Let us look at some of the best choices for seniors who want to keep their hearts and brains strong. The first is extra virgin olive oil, a cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet. Study after study has confirmed that olive oil is protective against cardiovascular disease. It is high in monounsaturated fat, which lowers LDL cholesterol while raising HDL, the good cholesterol. It also contains powerful antioxidants called polyphenols, which reduce oxidative stress and calm inflammation in your blood vessels. In fact, a major study in the New England Journal of Medicine found that seniors who consumed olive oil daily had significantly fewer strokes compared to those on a low-fat diet. I often recommend olive oil for sautéing vegetables, drizzling over salads, or even adding a spoonful to soups. The key is not to overheat it. Use medium heat to preserve its protective compounds. Another excellent choice is avocado oil. Like olive oil, it is rich in monounsaturated fats, but it also has a much higher smoke point, making it safer for cooking at higher temperatures. Avocado oil helps lower blood pressure, improve circulation, and has been linked to better vascular health in clinical studies. For seniors who enjoy frying occasionally, avocado oil is a far safer choice than corn or palm oil. Flaxseed oil, while not suitable for cooking due to its low smoke point, is a fantastic addition to the diet when used raw. It is one of the richest plant-based sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which directly reduce inflammation and protect the lining of your arteries. A teaspoon of flaxseed oil added to smoothies, yogurt, or salads can help restore the omega balance that is so often destroyed by heavy consumption of corn or soybean oils. For those who prefer variety, walnut oil is another option. It is less common but highly beneficial because it contains both omega-3 fats and antioxidants that support brain health. It has a delicate flavor that pairs beautifully with vegetables and grains. Coconut oil can be used sparingly if desired for flavor, but it should never be the main oil in your kitchen. What matters most is consistency. Replacing harmful oils with protective oils every day builds resilience in your arteries and reduces stroke risk over time. I once had a patient in her 70s who switched from corn oil and reused frying oil to olive and avocado oil. Within 6 months, her blood pressure improved, her cholesterol levels stabilized, and she felt more energetic. By her next appointment, she proudly told me she could walk longer without getting tired, and her mental clarity had returned. That is the real power of choosing the right oils. Every drop you use is either medicine or poison. Make the right choice, and your body will reward you. Now that you know which oils to embrace, the final step is understanding how to put it all together. What practical daily habits will ensure that your brain stays sharp, your heart stays strong, and your arteries remain open well into your golden years? That is the journey we will take in the conclusion. Doctor's final words. After decades of caring for seniors and seeing the devastating effects of stroke, I can tell you this with certainty. What you put in your kitchen is just as important as what you put in your medicine cabinet. Oils may look innocent. They may even carry labels claiming to be natural or heart-friendly. But many of them quietly poison your arteries and increase your stroke risk meal by meal. Palm oil clogs your vessels with saturated fat. Soybean oil floods your body with an imbalance of omega-6 that fuels inflammation. Coconut oil in excess stiffens your arteries. Reused oil fills your blood with toxic compounds. Corn oil silently inflames your vessels. These are not small details. They are the silent architects of stroke. But here is the good news. You are not powerless. Every time you choose extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, flaxseed oil, or walnut oil, you are protecting your arteries and feeding your brain what it truly needs. These oils reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and help you keep the independence and vitality you treasure. Stroke is not just about statistics. It is about the lives behind them. It is about whether you can still walk with your grandchildren, remember their faces, and live without fear of sudden collapse. I have seen patients who turn their health around simply by making small but consistent changes. The truth is, your body remembers how to heal, but it needs you to stop harming it with the wrong oils and start nourishing it with the right ones. Now, I would love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you have learned today and plan to apply in your own life. Let us support each other on this journey toward better health. If you enjoyed this video, comment 1. If not, comment 0. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for more life-saving senior health tips. Because protecting your brain and your arteries does not begin tomorrow. It begins today, with the oil you choose to cook with tonight.